Hello everybody, thanks for stopping by and welcome back. So I was at a little bridge in the middle of the New Forest the other week, and this was the image that I shared, and a number of people have asked me how I did it, so I thought I'd just share with you here. So this is a double exposure in camera. I'm on a Fuji XT4. My shutter speed was 1 second. Now I took a few shots there I'm going to share with you. I'm just going to show you these other ones. This was a lot more abstract, exactly the same location. This tree here is that tree there. So all I've done is stepped a few paces further back up the river and stepped where there was the bank had come out across the river a little bit, enabling me to just look straight down towards the bridge. And then there was this one, which is kind of in between. I have added some levels adjustment on here just to bring the lightness up a bit, kind of a bit softer. Let's just come back here. Now, if you notice, the first thing to notice is how green these two are compared to this one. So this was me just changing the white balance, always worth thinking about, because I'm always wanting to try and experiment with different ways of being creative to bring the world to life as I'm experiencing it while I'm there. So I selected dark blend mode on the camera because I wanted to bring this darkness to life. I'd switched the white balance to this, which would have been on cloudy, whereas on the greeny looking ones, I had it on fluorescent, which is a bit of a habit of mine. So this is how the trees look. These are redwood trees, I believe. And there was this beautiful misty morning light coming down. It was actually over here, coming down, hitting the river, catching on the corner of the bridge here, really beautiful. So had I used bright blend mode, I would have ended up with it way too blown out and bright, which is why I went for dark, because I wanted to capture texture on the trees and make sure the bridge and the river were the central feature. So how do I do it? I always am on 1 second shutter speed for these kind of things. I like my 1 second. I always do my horizontal pan first. So on 1 second, moving horizontally, following the line of the bridge. When I get to the end of the shutter speed, I simply allow the camera to drop a tiny little bit. If you look at my cursor, if I'd ended up here, I'd have dropped to about there. And then I make my second exposure. So click my shutter and I start moving just before I click. So there's a nice smooth blend, not a line, and I follow my horizontal path. I'm always using my body to camera technique, which I call that because it's using my breath, and the breathing keeps you stable and it can create movement, and I do both those things. So that is how it's done. Why do these look different? Because, as I say, the white balance is slightly different. And all I've done, I'm on exactly the same settings, and I'm just moving at a slightly different pace. So I'm just using my body slightly differently, pushing slightly into the scene, moving a little bit more slowly, just experimenting with different types of movement and being very, very gentle. So I love the very Impressionist look. I want it very soft. So if you think moving softly, that really helps. So you don't want to be thinking sharp or juddery or anything like that. If you just think smooth, think gentle, think rocking, floating, just gentle words, and you tend to find that you move in those ways. So this again, this was even slower, and on that slowness and pausing, so slow pause, just picking up much more of the colour and the light and pulling it across the frame. So I hope that helps you. I have put some links below. I'm going to write a little bit more about this in a Substack, talking a bit more about creative decisions. I hope this is helpful to your creativity too, and I'll speak to you again soon. Thanks then. Bye for now.